So what have we got here? This is the device that will actually enable you to isolate your starter motor, and it's just quite simply a piggyback or extension for your relay. And then all you've got from there is a wire that they give you that's all sheathed and just goes to a simple on-off switch. We don't utilize the LED light because that would just give away its location, so it's interesting that they've actually included one of those, but there we go. And you need to hide this in your vehicle. So on our TD5, I've just exposed our main fuse board, which is behind the gear shifter. And this relay here is the one that controls the starter motor. So, little tip, if you wanted to isolate your starter motor and prevent anybody from taking your vehicle, you could literally take the cover off here and just pull this out. And that means they can't start the vehicle. So it's the same thing, but without the hassle of having to unscrew the whole panel and remove your relay. What you're doing is you're just isolating it. So you're basically doing what I've just done there, but in a much easier way. So there we go. We've got all the wires in the corresponding slots. We've got our piggyback now just sitting there, and we just pop it into here. I think that's gone in. Yep. Now we've got one of these mud switch panels on here, which is allowing us to run a USB out and also mount our Carling switch for our front heated windscreen. But there's two other Carling switch apertures there that I could utilize, and I could put whatever I want on there. So I could put, for instance, a rear working lamp switch on there, but I can actually connect it to our isolator, and that is a great option. So on your switch, you can see you've only got two wires going to it, and you've got three tabs on the actual switch itself. The tab that sits underneath the LED light is not used. You just need to put one on the center tab, one on the outer side, away from that LED light. And that now means that if I try and start the vehicle, nothing. It's all lighting up, but it's not doing anything. And switch this on, it's reconnected. Now you can turn it off straight away if you want to, and then you won't have forgotten to do it, or you can just leave it as it is. Now, if you're going to mount the switch that they give you in the kit, it's very easy. You just drill a hole, which we'll do now, and pop it through. Now, there's the grommet that sits in the front of my drawer, and I've just left this piece out here because I've got to feed the wire in at the same time, but we'll do that now. Mount it at the bottom, I think. There we go. If you're going to fit a standard switch, you could fit it anywhere, and this would be a great little place. Look, it's just hidden underneath, out of sight. You can see there where the switch is, but obviously when this is all closed up, it's nicely hidden. And yeah, so starts no problem. If I flip my switch, I get nothing. Now, if you're in the know, let's imagine you're a thief that's stolen 50 Defenders and you know every in and out of the vehicles. Yes, there's a good chance that when you get in and you turn everything on, if nothing happens, you're going to know that possibly the relay's been taken out. So you would rip that console off the front there and you would see that there's something fitted and you'd be able to deal with it. But what about this? What about if you extend that relay position to somewhere hidden inside the dash so it can't be got to? And that way, if someone sees that it's got a wire going to it, they can't actually get to it to fiddle around with it and change it and swap it. So you could hide the relay, you could mount the relay itself, the extended relay, somewhere nice and secure that can't get gotten to easily without stripping the whole Defender apart. And then you go from your switch from there to somewhere either discreetly hidden in your vehicle or disguised as a different switch. And now let's have a quick look at what switches we could possibly fit. So here's a good example of a switch that would be perfect to disguise in your dash, and it's actually a illumination switch. So that turns the interior dial, your binnacle lights on and off. So it's simply a rocker switch. Now the connections are slightly different on the back, but it's still just two connections, so this will work. The other option you've got as well is I've got this one here from Mud. This is for a later Defender or Puma, and it's the push button style. So if you've got the center console dash on your vehicle, you could use this. So that push button switch is for a front fog light or front work light, and I've just connected the first and the third up. And so if I start now, nothing. Does exactly the same thing. Press the button in, and it starts. So again, that's a really good way to disguise the switch in your vehicle because no one's going to give that a second look. So I've dug a little bit deeper and actually found two more push button switches for the later TD5 and TDCi, which are actually blank, so they don't have any legend on them at all. So if you didn't want to go for a front work light in case you felt that was a little bit too obvious, you could just go for a blank. So there's plenty of those. So I'll list them all in the description below, and you can basically take your pick on what you want to actually retrofit and add to that kit just to make it even more stealth.